So now I begin video number 10. This video will basically detail if you want to do a specific day just for shopping, or and the departure with information about more information about Istanbul airport and the departure procedures there, and what to do at the airport. So if you want to do, like I said, if this is all these videos are geared for if you plan to do a week visit to Istanbul. If you're not doing a week visit, all the parts which I've mentioned in this video, you can mix and match any way you want of how you want to visit. So in the case that you want to have a separate day for shopping, that is entirely possible. What I would personally suggest is that you start off in the Grand Bazaar, roam around there, obviously do any shopping for any neat items you want at the Grand Bazaar. Then you can meander on down to the spice market, as I detailed in video number 8. You must do that trip and go to the spice market and do your shopping there, or vice versa. You could start at spice market and then go to the Grand Bazaar. The only thing would be, depending on how many items you buy, you may have to go back to your hotel to drop the items off if you have enough hands or too many bags to carry. If you want to go to the Vako outlet in Bachikape, it is located close, as I mentioned in my earlier videos. It's located closer to the spice market. So you may want to do spice market, the Vako outlet, and then the Grand Bazaar. Or you can do Grand Bazaar, Vako outlet, spice market. Now for some of the, now I mentioned if you want to buy a bigger item, let's say like a carpet, depending on this, like for Adnan and Hassan, they pack very well. If you buy a smaller carpet, they can pack you they can compact you to a size that you can. It's almost like a carry-on you can take on to the airplane with you. I'm assuming if you buy a larger carpet, they will. I mean, you can inquire from them about mailing it to you, or possibly even I know possibly even sending it directly to your hotel. That some carpet shops do that. You can find out from Adnan and Hassan, from Hassan or Errol at the shop if they offer that option. Or I know some carpet shops do, but you can inquire from them. But like I said, they pack the carpets very, very well so that it fits in a bag, which you can carry on to the plane, or want to check in or put it in your suitcase. So that's how I would basically do shopping there. Now, if you want to extend it a little bit further and you want to do your baklava shopping as well, you can do it in all one go. Karakoy Guluolu is also kind of is closer geographically to the spice market. You can get there two ways, and you can take the tram from Aminoinu into Karakoy, and then obviously from Karakoy to the station you walk to Karakoy Guluolu, or if you want, I highly recommend, you can walk across the Galata Bridge. This is the bridge where the tram goes over, and you can do it two ways. You can walk across the bridge, and it's a very picturesque sight of seeing people, fishing from the bridge. You can do it that way, or you can actually walk on the sides of the bridge to the lower parts. They have actually, basically, they're tourist trap restaurants, for lack of a better term. You want to walk along the bottom of that part as well. Obviously, you'll have the restaurant to get you to come in to sit down and eat. You can ignore them if you want. those are the two ways. I actually like walking across the Galata Bridge. So if you want to go from, so a potential way of doing it would be you could conceivably from Sultan Ahmed you could take the tram to Karakoy, buy your baklava from Karakoy, Gulu. You could walk across the Galata Bridge to the Spice Market, do your shopping at Spice Market. Spice Market, you would then walk to the Bako outlet in Bashekape. From Bashekape, then from Bako, you could walk to the Grand Bazaar, or you could do it the other way around. You could take either walk to the Grand Bazaar, or take the tram to the Grand Bazaar, and from the Grand Bazaar, you could walk to the Bako outlet to Spice Market. Spice Market, you could walk to Karakoy Gululu. Any way you want to figure out and manage, it's entirely up to you. But as I mentioned in the previous videos, some people during the day 2 of the Sultan Ahmed trip may want to add the shopping for the Grand Bazaar and the Spice Market, and depending on how much actual time you have there. So you can do that, or you can have it just a separate day for shopping. This trip I did an exclusive just one trip for shopping. I found that more enjoyable. I did make a trip later to the Grand Bazaar because I forgot to buy some items which I didn't go when I went for my exclusive day of shopping. But the exclusive day shopping is I think you should plan it that way. I think it's much more enjoyable. Now the departure part. As I mentioned earlier in my first video, Istanbul airport is about 45 minutes away. If you're staying in Sultan Ahmed, where most likely most of you will be staying, I guess even if some of you will stay toward, let's say if you're staying in the Chiran Palace, or in Beyoğlu or around Taksim, from there also it's about a 45-minute drive. If the hotel provides you transportation, if you take the bus, if you take Hava Ist, I think it's a little bit longer. I think it might take an hour, or might take a bit less than a ticket depending on traffic. Obviously, a bus will be going a little bit slower. So it's about 45 minutes to Istanbul airport. Now, Istanbul airport, for my Pakistani viewers, the security protocols are exactly the same as if you're going into Islamabad International Airport in Lahore, Jinnah International Airport in Karachi, or Islamabad International Airport. Is that you have that first security check right when you enter the airport. For my American viewers, that's not a concept which is here at airports in the United States, or for that matter in Europe. So you have to go through a first security check where your suitcases are scanned, or have to go through the scanner. You have to go through a metal detector and a security check and a pat down. When you enter the airport, when you enter the airport. So that's one. Now, when you enter the airport, this is where it kind of slightly diverges. If you're traveling to the United States, if you're my American American viewers, sorry, all the flights to the United States, Turkish Airlines flights to the United States depart roughly about between between 12 to 3:30, 3 in the afternoon, depending on what city you're flying to. The flight to Washington D.C. usually departs at about 2:30 or usually departs at 3 in the afternoon from Istanbul. Sometimes a little bit earlier as well. If you flew on one of the European airlines, because you have to take a connecting flight from via London or Paris or Frankfurt or Munich, those leave early in the morning, like 5 or 6 in the morning. Um, so you would have to obviously consequently go that early. Um, Now, once you enter the airport, they have for the flights going Turkish Airlines flights going to the United States, or to I'm not sure if it's the same with flights to Toronto and Montreal. I'm not familiar with that. But flights to the United States, there's a separate check-in island for those flights. So when you get to the check-in, um, you have to go through almost another security check. Right when you enter in the line, there will be a airline representative who will check your passport, um, ask you where you're flying to, uh, and other sort of kind of types of security questions. Um, how many people are traveling with you? The basic type of security questions. Um, it's almost like kind of kind of to weed out more of the suspicious, I guess, passengers is probably a better way of saying it. Um, this is not a Turkish requirement. This is a TSA requirement, actually, and the TSA requirement goes on to another part as well, which I will describe shortly. Um, you will go there, obviously, and you will check in. For my Pakistani viewers, the flights to Pakistan for the whole Islamabad, Karachi, all leave around the same time. Um, Depending on the time of year, they will either leave around 8:30 in the evening, or they might leave around 9:30 in the evening. So it gives you a good chunk of time to get there to kind of maybe do some shopping and sightseeing before you go to the airport. Obviously, when you get there, there is no dedicated island for flights to Pakistan. You'll have to check the kind of flight information board, or if you have the Istanbul airport app to check which check-in island you have to go to check in for your flight. I think it might be any of the Turkish Airlines, excuse me, islands. That's what it was previously at Istanbul Ataturk. I'm not familiar with Istanbul airport since I've not taken a flight I've not checked in from Istanbul to Pakistan. I usually take connecting flights to there. So for both sides, after you've done all your check-in, you will go through immigration. Once again, their immigration is fairly efficient, depending on how many booths are manned. So that's fairly quickly. Now, after you go through immigration, there will be another security check where you have to go through a metal detector and have your bags go through the scanner again. Once you do that, Istanbul Airport, as I mentioned in my first video, was the largest airport terminal in the world prior to the opening of Beijing Daxing International Airport. It's a huge airport. It's virtually when you get out of the security area, go through security, you're virtually almost like in a shopping mall. All types of high-end international brands are there. Fendi, Ferragamo, Prada, Vaco has a store there. I mean, anything which was lacking in Istanbul, Istanbul Airport has all sorts of shops there, plenty of places to eat, plenty of places to sit. My personal suggestion for if you want to eat at the airport, there are a couple. Simit Saraye, if you want to get simit and sandwiches, is a very good option. They also have international chains there too. They have a Popeyes, Hardee's. I believe they have a Burger King there also. All different types of cuisines. They have a special area which serves Turkish food. If you have the Istanbul Airport app, you can search for it on there. But if you just walk around, the Turkish food area is very nice. Uh, it's very good. I had char kebab there, which was quite nice. That's the option, or any other type of cuisine, cuisines they have there. Like I said before, Istanbul is a huge airport. Um, if you wanted to get assistance for a buggy or a meet and greet, you can do that through the app, or you can walk. There are walking walkways in the piers. Um, Now, when you check in, usually your gate will not be assigned as of yet, according to the board. If you have the Istanbul Airport app, um, that will give you actual information prior to it appearing on the information board at the airport, telling you where your gate is at. Now, for my American viewers, because of TSA regulations of flights coming into the United States, um, once you get to the gate, uh, do not sit inside the gate as of yet if you get there early. Because what will happen is that you'll be forced to leave that area for the simple reason is that two more security checks are conducted at the gate. So they force all the passengers out. So to enter the area, you have to go through one check where they check your passport and your boarding pass, ask you some basic questions, security questions as well. And then you go through, once you clear that, you have to go through another security check where it's a physical pat down. They will open your luggage carry on and will do a swipe with a swab to detect for any potential bomb making material on you. So please bear that in mind. Otherwise, you might be sitting in the area thinking, "Oh, everything is done," and then you're forced to go out into a line again to go through two more security checks. So it's always when you get to the gate, do not sit in the gate area. Make sure you're kind of outside it until the line forms. Istanbul Airport does have now. Let's say if you forget to buy anything from Istanbul and you want to get something as a gift for someone, the Turkish delight or baklava or any kind of small trinkets, they have the shops there. It's usually the shop is called Old Bazaar. There are a couple of them there. I would only recommend buying something from there if you're connecting through Istanbul, because otherwise it's very expensive. You can get Karakoy gulu baklava there, but it'll be sold at $25. It's I think €20. So, because they charge in euros at the airport, 20 or 21 euros per box, as compared to 20 lira a box. So make sure you buy everything before you get to the airport. Your souvenirs, your food, gifts, or anything you're taking out. I will only buy there if you're connecting through Istanbul Airport. My the final video after this, I will give you, because I know the question is going to be asked. Can you please? I know you suggested culinary backstreets, but that which restaurants are good to eat there. So my final video will talk about my personal favorite restaurants. Most of them are from culinary backstreets. I'll give those suggestions as well as any two other sources of reference information and whether or not it's worth hiring a tour guide or not. So until then, thank you.